welcome back everybody. I hope everybody's doing wonderful out there, because this is going to be part 4 of the 4 video series of this 600 square foot tiny home that I built. So if you haven't already, go back to my channel, Jeepman channel, check out part 1 of this, and then you'll see the whole backstory. And I've got part 2 of how I built the foundation. Part 3 is how I built the structure, and now finally part 4, and this is going to wrap up this video series on the 600 square foot tiny home that I built. And I think you guys will really like it. There's been so many people ask about it, and I hope by doing this myself, can help you build yours as well. So in this video today, what we're going to talk about is, number 1, I forgot to show you the attic space. So that's going to be the first thing on the agenda for this video. Is I'm going to take you up in the attic and kind of show you what it looks like up there, how I built it, and you'll understand a little bit better because you can actually see it up there. All right, and then the part 2 of this video is going to be basically a very important issue. Is when you build a corner for your countertops, make sure that that is extremely square, so that when you have your countertops made, you're going to have a nice square corner for all that to fit in. All right, so something that I'm going to talk about that I haven't discussed yet in this video series is what's my thoughts on the different options of a tiny home. Okay, you have a pole barn style / monolithic slab like I built, or barn dominium. You've got the tiny homes that are built on the actual trailer axles and frame, and then the portable buildings that are basically pre-built, and you just finish them out. So we're going to talk about all those issues, and most importantly, I'm going to show you where I messed up on this building, and hopefully by me showing where my mess ups are, you won't make the same mistakes. So let's go check out the attic, and then we'll get going. Also very important is, at the end of this video, I'm going to have all of the room measurements and interior walls and closets and bathrooms and bedrooms and living space area. I'm going to have that all put down on a piece of paper for you guys, so that you can actually see the actual floor plan and the measurements. So this will help you out. But remember, you can always alter them in the way that you want to. This is just how I built mine. So let's go. All right, so I took out the washer and dryer, and this is the attic space that you can get up there. And let me grab my light. Let's go check it out. All right, everybody. So this right here is going to be your attic. And something that I didn't discuss is that they are made out of 2x6s. Okay, so they are a hefty truss, and I've got 4 of them. We got 1 down there. This would be number 2. That would be number 3, and then my 4th one is back on the back side back there. Okay, now this is that double bubble material. Let's zoom out here. It's got like a mylar finish on one side, which will reflect the heat back away from your home, and then it's got 2 layers of double bubbles in there. Okay, and then you've got this little plastic liner that goes on the outside. Okay, now I talked about that in my part 3 video of this series, and that comes in 6-foot rolls. And you can get that from your pole barn metal company, where you buy your pole barn metal. Okay, now I've got my roof purlings, as you can see. Let me zoom in there. You can see what's going on. These are my roof purlings right here. They are 2x4, and I've got them on end. And what that does is that gives it major structural strength in between my trusses, because those are at 10-foot centers on my trusses. Okay, and let me zoom back out so you can see better. I've got them set on 2-foot centers. Okay, 2-foot centers going up, and since my trusses are 10 feet, and those 2x4s are 2x4x12s, and that way you've got an overlap on the truss, which gives it extra strength in that area. And they're on 2-foot centers. And then here at the top, where the ridge cap goes, this is where that other vented gasket that goes underneath the ridge cap and the pole barn metal will come up and overlap each other right here. This is, I have 2 2x4s on in there, And there is, you can't really see it, but there's two 2x4s stacked together here. So you've got extra structural strength that runs the full length of the ridge cap. And then make sure too that whenever you put your trusses up, that you run these lateral braces on the ends to the top and bottom of each truss. And what that's going to do, in case you have a strong wind shear that hits your building, it will structurally strengthen up the ends. And you can do this throughout, but I just did my ends, both ends of the 30-foot section. I did. So, and then here is the blown in insulation. What I really like about this, it goes in there extremely well, and it does not itch like your typical bat insulation does, and it blows extremely well. And I have not been up in here for a while, but it's still holding its density, its thickness through here, which is really nice to ensure that I'm still getting the R40 that I put up in here. So anyhow, this is the attic. Not much to it, not a lot of room up here, but just remember too, this is a 312 pitch roof. And what that means is from the, basically, it'll drop, what is that, a foot every 3 feet. So every 3 foot of run, it just drops a foot. Okay, now you can get different trusses. You can get 412 pitch roof, 512, 612, 712. Okay, so just remember, it's the higher the number at the start of the 12. Like if I went with a 412, the pitch would be higher. You'd have a higher ceiling in here. If you went 512, it'd be higher, 612 higher, so then you would have more room. So the higher the number, 712 would be, I think, your max maybe on this, but it just gives you more space. Or if you wanted to make a loft up here, you can do anything you want to do. It just costs a little bit more money to do so. So just think about that, and you should be good. So anyhow, let's go over some more. All right, everybody, so whenever you get to your kitchen area, most everybody's gonna have some type of countertop made for your kitchen and your cabinets. And it's very, very important that you spend a lot of time right here in this corner when you build a wall coming off of maybe your main wall. Like this is my main wall to my exterior. Because when you go and buy your countertops are gonna have a seam, okay? And they're gonna run, it's a 45-degree angle from here back to the corner. And then you're gonna have another piece that comes in. They're gonna join together there. Underneath, you're gonna have some miter joints. It's gonna actually have some fasteners that will actually suck these two halves together. I think there's 3 of them through there. But it's real important to spend some time in his corner and to make sure that this is at a 90-degree angle. Okay, and you need to make sure of that, so that when you order your countertops and you lay your new countertops up here, that you're not going to have a wall or another wall that's completely out of whack, and then your countertops, they'll join together maybe, but then you'll have a big gap on the back side of your countertop to your wall, and you do not want that. Okay, so spend some time here, don't rush it, take some time, double check it, and then triple check it, and then you should be good to go. Another thing is, I want to say thank you to a couple subscribers that told me something. To be honest with you, I had no idea, because I never thought about it whatsoever. Okay. Some of the viewers out there have mentioned, hey man, next time you got the wrong, get a different refrigerator to where the door handles are on this side. Okay. That way the doors will open this side and you have access to your countertops a lot better. Well, I've had a total of 2 subscribers out there out of the hundreds of thousands of views on this that said, hey man, why don't you just switch your handles on your refrigerator? And you know what? A big light bulb went off, because I never thought about that. But anyhow, they were saying, hey, your handles will switch over. All you do is take your hinges off, put them on the other side, and then guess what? Your doors will open this way. So guess what? I'm going to make a video on that. I'm going to take you through the process, because if I didn't know that, you know what? That's okay, because I just learned something, and that's what YouTube is all about. Learning from others and also learning from your own mistakes. So let's check it out, because the reason is I bought this shoes for 50 bucks and I bought it this way, and I had no clue that you can actually change the handles over and change the hinges on the other side. And it makes totally sense. I've looked at it already and it will work. So stay tuned for that video to come in the near future. All right, everybody. So what's Aaron's thoughts on some of these tiny home designs out there, and what I do, what others have done? And I'm going to take you through just a short process of why I built this. And I thought about every way that I could build a tiny home as cheap as I possibly could and is structurally sound, but yet very efficient. Okay, so let's look at the tiny home that you see on TV a lot, on the Tiny Home Nation, I think it's called. They build these tiny homes on trailer frames, and you've got usually 2 axles under them, and you can actually truck these things down the road. And I'm sure you guys have seen some at these little portable building sites where you can rent them or you can buy them. But guys, they are extremely costly. Okay, the ones I've seen on TV, they're running like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 for something that's on a trailer. Guys, there's no way I would do that. There is absolutely no way that I'd do that. If you're trying to find a way to build a small tiny home, listen, as soon as you buy that thing, it's depreciating like no other. Okay, it's not going to be worth nothing. How many times can you haul it up and down the road without having some structural damage on the inside? There's just no way that I would do that. And so keep that in mind. And then just remember that you have to think about the cost of it. All right, you would be better off to buy a small camper, find a piece of property somewhere, live in a small camper until you can save up to start your small home or tiny home. Okay, that camper is not going to depreciate a lot, because if you buy one used, listen, you could probably live in it for 2-3 years, and then you could sell it and get your money back out of it when it's time to move into your smaller home or tiny home. Okay, now if you can't afford, all right, to build a home like I have, but this is 600 square foot. Listen, you can still go smaller. Okay, and like I said, I built this for $18,000. This was pre-COVID. All right, this is crazy inflation that we're experiencing, and not only that, interest rate is going through the roof. So I was able to build this for $18,000. All right, so this is 600 square foot. You can do a 400 square foot. Okay, you can build this 600 square foot. Okay, and then you can actually finish it out as you say, live in a camper next to it, or you can go ahead and finish it with insulation on the inside, get moved in, save up some more money. Then you can do the drywall, you can do the flooring, you can do the trim, you can do the interior doors. Okay, there's many ways to walk through this process, especially if you're on a very tight budget, or like so many people out there, you're trying to get out of debt. Okay, especially in the day in which we live. All right, so, but also I wanted to bring up one more thing. What if you can't physically, okay, or capably build something like this? This is what I would tell you to do. Go ahead and buy you a piece of property, a small little piece of property that you can build something on. All right, find somebody in your area that builds pole barn buildings. Okay, they're going to be super quick. That's all they do is pole barn buildings, and then you're going to be able to possibly come in, pay them to come in, frame up your building, pour the concrete, put the exterior metal on, and then you can just call it good for a little bit. Save up some more money. Then you can do your wiring on the inside, the insulation, your drywall, or whatever that you think that you can do. You can put a tongue and groove throughout. You can do, some people do like a metal siding on the inside. Listen, if you don't think that you can do the full structure building, just pay somebody, save up, pay somebody to do that, and then you can finish it out on the inside. Remember, being such a small building, it's not going to cost a lot to actually do the interior yourself with the materials needed. Okay, so think through that, and I would not recommend at all buying a tiny home on a trailer with the axles. No way. The storage buildings are so expensive. Time you buy a storage building, and I priced them out because, guys, that was one of my thoughts. I was like, if I buy a really nice storage building, I'll finish it off if it's got a loft. But guys, I think they was running like almost 15 grand for a much smaller square foot that I have now. And that's not even finished. That's not the septic, that's not wiring or anything. So I would totally not do that as well. So do your research, try to maybe just pay somebody to do the pole barn structure, and they offer some really good prices on a very small pole barn, and then you will be able to afford to finish it yourself one step at a time after they get it structured and under cover and out of the weather. Okay, so think about that when you're going through the process. So now, guess what? I'm going to talk about my mistakes, because I know some of you probably wondering how many mistakes I made. I made a few mistakes, there's no doubt. And just remember, I'm probably the only one that's going to know them. And if somebody moved in here, they would probably figure it out at a later time. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what it is. And let's go check out the first one. All right, this is my very first mistake here, guys. And I'll show you a few more. All right, when you buy a bifold door, it'll give the height top to the bottom, and it'll give you the width, okay? But what I did is when I framed this door frame out, what I didn't figure in is the finished piece. Right here. The 1x4 that goes around, because on the back side of this, you've got a wall stud. I didn't figure in the 1x4 finished piece, okay? So what happens is when you put your trim piece up there, your door, with that 1x4 at the top, that trim piece, now your door opening is too short. So what I had to do is I had to go down here and I had to take my door and I had to cut off 1 inch all the way across the bottom of this door so that it would then fit in this space, okay? I didn't have any trouble on the sides because I always left a little bit more, but just remember, don't forget about your trim piece that goes on the inside of your door, and it will take up your height up here. So I had to cut it off and I had to re-drill for the little fastener that went there. So that was number 1 mistake. Number 2 mistake was, guess what? I did it again on this one because I did not figure the 1x4 trim piece that goes around. So I had to cut this door off too. Now, what I could have done is I could have went up here on my header and actually cut out another inch of my header going across, but that was going to be a real pain, especially since I had my drywall already done and I didn't want to mess with that. So anyhow, be very careful on that too, okay? Now, let me take you around here to the bathroom, and this is the pocket door that opens and closes right here. When you buy a pocket door, it's going to come with a framing that is right here, okay? It's almost studded up like a wall, but it's made out of 1x4s. And when you put your pocket door in, there's going to be a piece that actually goes all the way across the top and it comes down, and then basically you build everything around that structure that the pocket door comes in, okay? A mistake that I made was when I put my drywall up, since that is not a 2x4 structure on the back side of this, it's only a 1x4. I think they run this way. If I'm not mistaken, drywall screws in through the wall. You got to make sure you get very short drywall screw. Your drywall is going to be a 1/2 inch. And then I think this material, the wood, the 1x4 is actually, I think it's only a 1/2 inch thick. I think maybe 3/4, but I think it's a 1/2 inch. And when I put my drywall screw in, it went through the 1x4, and then it was actually hitting the door after I got all of this done. So then I had to take all this back apart and pull them screws back out and put some smaller screws in there. So think ahead on that. Don't make a mistake like I did, because man, I'm gonna be honest with you, it wasn't easy to fix. And because you can't get your hand through here to cut them off, you got to take it back out. So let's move on to number 4 mistake. All right, so this is number 4 mistake right here. Okay, one more thing that I didn't know is I bought this door on sale, and I was like, hey, great, I'll buy it now. I'll store it in my garage until I get ready to put the door in. And when you have a 1x6 wall, okay, and you buy a door with a casing for a 1x4 wall, this is what's gonna happen right here. So your door hinge, okay, needs to be more out here on the end, okay? Well, that's what happens when your door and your door casing is made for a 2x4 wall, not a 2x6 wall. So it's not that big of a deal, but I'll show you what happens when you do open the door. This is where it actually becomes a little bit of a deal, okay? So as you open your door, as you can see, since that hinge sits inside, your door will hit your door jamb area right here. So you can't really extend the door completely wide open like you normally would, but it's not that big of a deal. We've moved several people in and out of here, and it's not that big of a deal, but it's something that I wish I would have known, and I would have got the right door and the door jamb for a 2x6 wall. So something else that you need to pay attention to when you're buying your doors. Now your windows, you're not gonna have any issues with the windows. I had no issues with those. Those are just a standard home window, and you won't have any issue there. So let's go check out number 5. All right, so number 5 mistake for Mr. Aaron is gonna be I built this deck out here, right? Not a big deal, but here's the problem. I built the deck, right? And then when I put the deck boards on that goes across, guess what was gonna go here? A storm door. And since my deck board is slightly higher than this area right here, I can't put a storm door on this because it will hit my deck. All right, so mistake number 5. Okay, now what I'm gonna do on this project is I am going to fix this because I am going to put a storm door on here. Is I've left, when I inserted this door, I've left more room at the top, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my trim off on the inside of my door, on the inside of my house up there, and actually going to be able to move this door up a little bit. And when I do that, I will have to fill in down here with a probably piece of maybe like a 1x4, 1x6 treated. And then that way the door will actually be raised up a little bit more. And then when I put my storm door on, it'll actually clear and actually open on top of the deck here instead of hitting it there. So anyhow, those are the mistakes that I made, guys. And you know, everybody's going to do something a little different, and you can do whatever you want to do, but just remember, build your little home the way you want to, and I guarantee you most likely only you will know where those mistakes were. So, all right, everybody. So this is going to be the plans for the 600 square foot cottage, and I'm going to walk you through this. So I'm going to be spinning this around, but anytime, all you have to do is hit the pause button, and you should be able to then zoom in, and then you can actually write down or do a little schematic of what this looks like. So just bear with me here, and I'm going to walk you through this as quick as I can. That way you guys can kind of see the big picture of it, okay? So first of all, this is the front door here. This is going to be 19 feet from this side to this side, and I am subtracting the 6-inch wall on each side. So when you lay out your plans, just figure I am considering in the wall diameter, so that's why it's 19 feet, because I've got a 6-inch wall here and a 6-inch wall here that will equal 20 feet all the way across, okay? Front door is centered directly in the middle of the 20 feet. And let's kind of go into the kitchen area here. And what we've got here is from the backsplash area of the countertop, this is the fridge right here. This is going to be the little wall that comes out right next to the fridge. From the inside of this wall to the outside of this wall is going to be 7 feet 8 inches, okay? Then from this stud. Now, what I'm figuring is when you put the actual 2x4 on the concrete, just like you're going to build a wall, all you have to do is figure in from where the 2x4 is, from that point to this point, it's going to get you these true measurements, okay? So from this wall that's behind the fridge and the counter, we're at 15 feet 6 inches to this wall. And also pay attention in this corner. Make sure you got a nice 90-degree corner here, because your countertop's going to have a 45-degree cut on it. You want to make sure that this wall and this wall is exactly square in this corner, okay? The little short wall that comes out by the fridge is 2 feet 6 inches, okay? Comes out and is basically flush with the front of the fridge, okay? I'm going to spin this around. This is the half wall right here that separates the living room from the bedroom, and it's going to be 15 feet 8 inches from the front wall where the front door is to the half wall, okay? Now the half wall, you can whatever length that you want out, that's fine. What I did was I just made sure that from this wall here to this has a 36-inch opening for either wheelchair or a walker, something that you can get through there real easily, okay? So just figure in whatever you want to build that at, that's your choice. Some people may want it like a 30-inch opening. Your call on that, doesn't really matter. But it's right at, I think it's 5 feet tall is what it is from the floor to the top of that half wall. That'll give you a little bit of clearance on that. And you can make that whatever you want to. Some people may want to have a solid wall. It goes all the way to the ceiling. That way you can, close this off even more, okay? So from the half wall to the back of the cottage is going to be 12 feet 8 inches, okay? And then spin it around again. From this corner in the bedroom over to the closet, you're looking at 11 feet and 3 inches, okay? Now the closet is a really small closet, and I made it small just because I knew that there was just going to be one person living there, my mother-in-law. So I made it pretty small, but it's 24 inches is what it is, 24 inches deep. And if you want it, you can change this up too. Whatever you want to do with that, that is up to you. If you want to make a deeper closet, or spin the closet around, so you want it on this wall back here, you could do that. So that's going to be your call on what to look for there, okay? Now the shower, it is a 48-inch wide shower. This little section right in here is all closed in. That's where my plumbing goes. So I didn't really take that in consideration. Okay, now the bathroom itself, from the back of the closet, where this is the sliding pocket door, actually goes up in this area right here, because the sliding pocket door will come out and close off this right here, okay? So, but it actually goes inside here. So that's why you lose a little bit of your closet space due to a pocket there, but it's not a big deal because it comes with its own framing, and it actually is the same diameter as a 2x4 wall. So not really losing much. So it's really not an issue putting in a pocket door. So the bathroom is 5 feet deep, okay? And it's 9 feet 6 inches from basically where the shower is flush. And I've got a little angle coming out, but it's not really like that. It's just a tad bit, but anyhow, it comes out this way. Then it's 9 feet 6 inches, okay? And what it does is that comes over to the 9 feet 6 inches, comes over to now the start of the little utility room, okay? You've got your sink in there. You've got a little bit of space here, okay, to put in maybe a little trash can or whatever you want. You have some space there. And you've got a nice little space here for like a towel rack or, whatever you want to put in there. There's plenty of room. So When I built this, like I said, this is the first one I've ever built. So I wanted just a few little inches here and there. So that way when I actually built this, if I made a mistake, I still have a little leeway and not cause a big problem with the building and where the rooms are, okay? So the utility room is 3 feet on the inside of the 2 walls from stud to stud. It's 3 feet. And from end to end is the same as the kitchen wall back here. Okay, so it's 7 feet and 8 inches from here all the way out to here, okay? And then then this little short wall starts. This is the walk-in door to access your washer and dryer. And then this is the little bifold door here from the bathroom that you can have access to the hot water heater, the back of the washer and dryer. And I do have some shelving put up here. This is where my dryer vent exits right here, along with my gas line comes in here, okay? This wall right here, the one that splits the utility room and the kitchen, right here is where basically in this stud wall, this is where my water comes out of the concrete and supplies the home. I also have where the electric comes in right in this area as well. It comes up and feeds my breaker box, okay? So this is pretty much the plans. And when I built it, this is kind of what I did right here. I just did the best I could, drew it out on a scrap pad, and basically did this. So remember, like I said, you can always change this up a little bit. There is quite a bit of space from here to here, from the end of the counter. I didn't mark here, but the cook stove sits just about right here. So you've got, I think it's about 3 or 4 feet from the end of the counter to this wall. There is a window that goes here, and there was a little kitchen table that we had sitting right there. That way Patsy could actually eat breakfast and dinner and look outside, okay? So I hope this gives everybody just an idea on what you can do with such a small space. And like I said, you can hit pause, you can zoom in, take a picture of it on your phone, and then you can really zoom in and see what's going on here. But I think this will explain as much as I possibly can with you. If you got any questions, put it down in the comments. I'll do everything in my possible power to answer them the best of my ability. So, hope this helps. Remember, get out there, do something with your hands, and men, be men. It's a great thing. Teach your young men how to do something. Either it's build a doghouse, raise some chickens, or even build a tiny home. So love you all. Catch you later, and God bless you guys. See you soon with more videos to come. Oh yeah, by the way, up next on my channel, we're going to Alaska. So you better subscribe because we got a cool trip coming your way. See y'all later. Bye.